You've been watching the World Series on CBS Sports, the home of baseball's biggest game. Mr. Justice has rendered his verdict. Case closed in Atlanta. One shot from the top. For the Twins, to get off that plane, they'll be singing the James Taylor song, Isn't It Nice to Be Home Again? We're all heading to the Twin Cities. We'll see you Saturday night.
This unofficial moment in our national pastime is brought to you by the official airline of Major League Baseball, United. Come fly the friendly skies.
When you look for champions, you look to CBS Sports.
This is CBS.
We like starry nights, sunny days, home run hitters and touchdown plays. We like the great outdoors and a Midwest style. The Twin Cities and a hometown smile. The time is now. The word is go. The look of Minnesota is CCO. The look of CCO. The look of Minnesota is CCO. The look of CCO.
Next on the World Series edition of the 10 o'clock news, here's what you'll find out besides baseball. Tonight, a fiery crash near Isanti on Highway 95. We'll tell you how it happened. The creator of Star Trek, Gene Roddenberry, has died. A look back at his successes. And the winner of the world's fastest typist contest. That's coming up just a little bit later after tonight's top story. You guessed it, Game 5 of the World Series live from Atlanta. From WCCO Television, this is a special World Series edition of the 10 o'clock news on Channel 4.
Historic proportions.
Also, the front page, Braves beyond reach? I don't think so.
Retreat? Never. The Twins come home. Good evening, everybody, and welcome to Atlanta and to the Fulton County Stadium, where once again it is a madhouse crowd. And do these people like to rub it in or what?
You know, the more they win, the nastier they get. I mean, well, you can't blame them. I mean, this has been a terrific 3 games for the Atlanta fans. It's been not so pleasant for us, but we are going home.
One of the things they've been saying is 3 at home, 1 in the dome. 3 at home, 1 in the dome, and they only need to win 1 more to make that dream come true.
Yeah, well, we've been there before, and we know that we may not win the World Series games on the road, but that dome is magic for the Twins, and I don't know. I'm awfully glad I'm going home, and I think the entire Twins organization would echo that as well.
All right, what's coming up?
Well, tonight we're going to have all the World Series highlights. We also want to hear from you, our viewers. Pat Kessler is in our fan phone center waiting for your calls and comments, as if we can't guess what those might be, about this Game 5. Now, here's the number you can call. It's area code 612-330-2764. Tell us what's on your mind, and we'll play what some of you have to say just a little bit later.
Now we want to send it back inside to Mark Rosen. He's standing by inside the dome. Mark, tell us what you know.
Well, Don, actually, there are hundreds of fans still here, along with mounted police and just about every other security person guarding this field, because the fans just don't want to go home. They want to soak it all in. This was their last chance to watch their hometown heroes perform, and what an exit they made. And for the Minnesota Twins, well, they continue to be allergic to the green grass, the stars, and the moon, and will now look to their plastic refuge, the Metrodome, this weekend to provide the impetus to try to go on and win the World Series. And the same scenario exists as it did in 1987. The Twins got whooped pretty good in St. Louis 3 games in a row, and it's been a long time. It's been, in fact, never maybe that the Twins have ever won a World Series game on the road, but that, of course, includes the old Washington Senators as well. No late-inning heroics needed tonight for the Atlanta Braves, and they just broke it open in the 4th inning here at, I guess you could call it Hot Atlanta, and that's what they did tonight. David Justice swatted a Kevin Tapani pitch just far enough Dan Gladden's vertical jump a couple inches shy as justice prevailed, and the Braves had a 2-0 lead. Chappany had breezed through the first 3 innings, but pitching on just 3 days rest, lost it here in the 4th. Justice had the home run and 4 RBIs. Mark Lemke wears thick glasses during warm-ups, and in the storybook manner of Clark Kent Superman, takes off the glasses, puts an S on his chest, and goes out and hits triples all night, proving to be a lot more than just a one-game flash. Lemke now has 3 triples in 2 games, along with the winning run scored last night, and is now, right now, I guess, the leading candidate, you could say, for most valuable player for the Atlanta Braves. Well, you know, there's been a dearth of hitting from the Twins in this series, especially from the outfielders in particular. They were 5 for 47 going into tonight's game, and it really didn't improve very much. And add to that the woes of first baseman Ken Herbeck, who is now 3 for 19 or hitting 158 in this World Series. The man who might have the best glove in baseball was also not so golden in the field tonight. He fielded the ball just fine here. The problem was his judgment. Herbeck should have thrown home to get Terry Pendleton. Instead, with no one out, Herbeck went for the double play without success. Herbeck clearly should have thrown home, but then again, nothing been going right for Ken Herbeck in this World Series. Maybe the sight of that old tarp at the Metrodome will bring out the best in Ken Herbeck when the Twins return home. Quite a send-off from the loyal Brave fans. They've done it all year. They've been down and come back, and now they're in the driver's seat 3 games to 2. It'll be Scott Erickson, and boy, Scott Erickson's going to have to pitch a lot better than he did in his previous start, going against young Steve Avery, who will have the world on his shoulders, an opportunity to win the first World Series ever for the Atlanta Braves Saturday night at the Metrodome. And I kind of love this atmosphere here, what's been happening inside this stadium. The Twins fans will have to go a long ways to match what's been going on here the last 3 nights, but I have a feeling they're up for it. Don and Clean back out there.
All right, Mark, thank you very much. If you say you've got about 100,000 fans still in that stadium, do us a favor and keep them inside there. You know, one of the things that makes it sort of interesting here in Atlanta is that it's the only stadium in Major League Baseball that allows drinking to go on outside the stadium. So there's a lot of people out here tonight still walking around with open beer cans, and they don't have a cutoff period. In most places, 7th inning or 8th inning, they stop serving beer, but not here. So this crowd is not only happy, they're very happy.
Well, I mean, it could explain a little bit about what's going on out here. I don't know about you, but I'm real anxious to hear from some of the folks back home, and Pat Kessler has been monitoring those calls throughout the evening. Now, I don't imagine they have a lot of uplifting things to say, but maybe so. What about it, Pat?
Well, it hasn't been very pretty. Maybe a good night's sleep and everybody will feel a little bit better about this tomorrow. There's a lot of frustrated fans out there tonight. Now, your mood faded as the Twins lost their 3rd straight in Atlanta, and many of you don't think the Twins will do much better at home. That's all night what we've been hearing. Discouraged? No, despairing might be an even better word.
I think maybe the Braves are going to be going to Disney World. I really think that the Twins are going to have a tough time pulling it out.
It's games like these that make you wonder why the players get paid so much. Uh-oh. Another home run. Not looking good.
And I believe that Tom Kelly should be fired immediately after they lose this World Series.
And I want them to win. I need them to win. I'm praying for them to win. But if they're going like they're going, they don't deserve to win.
Now, just over the last 10 or 15 minutes, we're starting to get calls again from people who are optimistic. We just heard from a caller who said, if the dome is rocking, don't come tomahawking. They think the Twins might come back. We're starting to hear a little bit more of that, but many of you called tonight to say you didn't like the treatment Ken Herbeck was getting tonight. There was a banner in Fulton County Stadium right where Herbeck could see it, and that banner called him Fat Boy and spelled out his name. That sent a lot of you to the phone.
We treated the Atlanta Braves with disrespect, and I think they should treat Ken Herbeck with respect. I don't think it's fair that they're treating him this way just because of one play.
I don't think that they should show a sign like that. You know, needless to say, somebody's going to bring that in, but I think CBS has the authority what to show and what not to show, and I don't think they should have shown that sign.
I just like to say, Herbeck, don't listen to them. They don't know what they're talking about.
Now, we'd like you to keep calling us. Tell us what you think tomorrow's newspaper headline should be. Our fan phone number is 330-2764. We're going to come back a little bit later in the newscast, and we're going to tell you what you think some of the headlines should be for tomorrow's paper. So, awfully frustrated, Don and Colleen, but things are picking up a little bit here.
Well, you can tell the people back home that it is even tougher here, not only on, well, as you can see, on anybody from Minnesota who happens to be in Fulton County Stadium, but it was really tough on Kent Herbert.
Every time he walked up to the plate, the whole place would boo him. They would scream words like cheater. It really made me angry, and I really hope that when the Twins come back to the Dome that he gets the most rousing welcome of all, because he is one guy who could really use a kind word right now. And another thing, I'm a little disturbed about all the Minnesota fans all of a sudden losing faith in the Twins. It was only 4 years ago when we lost 3 games on the road and came back to do what so many people then thought was impossible. I mean, this is the time, as Tom Kelly says, it's such a great privilege to be in the World Series.
You're exactly right. And there's no question that there are still a lot of faithful fans. It just seems awfully lonely out here in the middle of Atlanta, Georgia, where you can count the number of Twins fans quite literally on your hands.
Well, during our time here in Atlanta, besides bringing you all the games, we also wanted to bring you other sights in and around the Fulton County Stadium. Now, here's one we saw this afternoon. We spotted this police horse tied up just across the street from us. Now, he looks like any other horse until you notice the tomahawk that's shaved onto its rear end. Now, in case you're wondering, there is a tomahawk on both sides of that horse. And one more example to show you that this series has definitely gone to the dogs, or at least temporarily. Another instance of what they're doing down here in Atlanta. Well, coming up next, some non-baseball news from Cindy Hilger back in Minneapolis, including the death of a favorite Star Trek fan.
We're also going to show you the video, the uproar over the video of recently released hostage Jesse Turner as he reunites with his family.
And, of course, we're going to check back later with the fans on our fan phone. We'll be back in a moment, live from Atlanta.
You're watching a special World Series edition of the 10 o'clock news on Channel 4.
Which car should I buy? Plymouth Acclaim. I need automatic. Plymouth Acclaim. Driver's airbag. Yes. A good warranty. You get a choice. Affordable. Less than $12,500. And air conditioning. At no charge. Plymouth Acclaim. Maybe Plymouth Acclaim. Nice idea. Plymouth Acclaim. An intelligent machine. Go to a dealer. Go to a dealer. Go to a dealer. Go to a dealer.
Now at Best Buy, get 0% financing on all videos. That's 0% financing on all TVs, VCR, and camcorders. Like the Sony autofocus camcorder with Sports Finder, power zoom, 2-lux low light setting, and digital superimposer. Plus, comes with a remote that lets you be in the picture too. Get it now for just $8.99. So drop in and get 0% financing on Sony and all video through Saturday at Best Buy.
We like stars at night, sunny days, home run hitters and touchdown plays. We like the great outdoors and our Midwest style. The Twin Cities and a hometown smile. The time is now. The word is go. The look of Minnesota is CCO. The look of CCO. The look of Minnesota is CCO. The look of CCO.
The South is trying to rise again, and we're outnumbered out here, Colleen.
You're right. You noticed that, huh? Yeah.
This time, now to go back to the Twin Cities, where Cindy Hilger is standing by with the rest of the news of the day.
Thanks very much, Don. Well, one woman is dead tonight following a fiery crash on a highway east of Cambridge, Minnesota. The State Patrol says the unidentified woman driver was crossing Highway 95 near County Road 48 just before 6 o'clock tonight when her car and a semi-trailer truck collided. The car burst into flames, trapping the woman. The driver of the truck was not injured. A 15-year-old boy today pleaded guilty to a reduced homicide charge in a case that began last July when 2 teenagers dropped a rock onto a passing camper and killed the driver. The other boy, a 16-year-old, was convicted yesterday in a jury trial. After testifying, he said that it was the 15-year-old's idea to drop the rock. Today, the 15-year-old pleaded guilty to second-degree reckless homicide. At most, he'll face supervision until the age of 19. A 43-year-old St. Paul woman died tonight after her apartment caught fire just before 9 o'clock. Firefighters arriving at 2150 Wilson Avenue found the living room of a first-floor apartment burning. They put the blaze out quickly, but found the woman who was confined to a wheelchair dead from burns. Officials don't know how that fire started, but they do not suspect arson. The name of the victim has not been released. Richfield police and federal agents spent most of the evening going through a home where a bomb detonated earlier this afternoon. The explosion occurred at 6838 Cedar Avenue South around noontime. 2 men were injured in that blast. Police evacuated about a dozen homes for a few hours while the Minneapolis bomb squad moved in and removed other explosives.
They also found a number of containers with various liquids and powders that aren't identified yet, but some of which they could identify as charcoal and other compounds that are commonly used in the making of gunpowder.
Damage to the home was confined to an upstairs bedroom. A tenant who lived in the basement told WCCO the 2 victims have experimented with bombs in the past. Police say they don't know what the bombs would have been used for or how long the explosives were in the home. Charges are expected to be filed tomorrow against a 38-year-old Wisconsin man whom police describe as the ringleader of a sophisticated money order theft scam. Investigators searched the man's car this afternoon in Minneapolis, and they estimate he cashed in about $500,000 worth of money orders in 5 states before he was caught 2 days ago in Minneapolis.
He'd actually purchase these money orders in low amounts, $2, $4, or $6, and he'd use a chemical process to alter them to read 200, 400, 600 et al., up to about $1,000.
Authorities believe the man had moved his operation to Minneapolis just 2 weeks ago. Police were able to catch him after an employee at a credit union on Chicago Avenue became suspicious when a money order was presented to him on Tuesday. 3 other people were arrested with the Wisconsin man and could also face charges tomorrow. If the trend continues, the Twin Cities area will see twice as many bank robberies this year as we did just 2 years ago. In 1989, there were 42 bank holdups. In 1990, 59, and so far this year, there's already been 58. They estimate year's end, there will be 80. Why? Well, authorities pin most of the blame on the economy and rising unemployment. But these days, the FBI says there's another troubling reason behind the increase.
It may also be someone in need of money to support a drug habit. And oftentimes that is a motivating factor in the commission of a bank robbery.
The FBI still has about a 70% success rate at catching bank robbers, and the robbers don't often get away with much money. So all in all, it doesn't seem like a very good bet. Some 15,000 Minnesotans who have policies or annuities with the insurance company Executive Life will find out tomorrow how much money they'll get from the company. The California-based company invested heavily in junk bonds, and it failed. Well, tomorrow, a judge will decide if state insurance funds gathered from companies that do business in the state will pay policyholders. Now, you're protected to the full amount up to $100,000 on life insurance and annuities, and up to $300,000 on death benefits. But under the proposed settlement, you'd only get 89 cents on the dollar above those amounts. And you can call the State Commerce Department if you have any questions, and those numbers should be appearing on your screen. If you live in Greater Minnesota, the number is 1-800-652-9747. If you live in the metro area, the number is 296-2488. In world and national news tonight, President Bush says he wants the Senate to appoint a special prosecutor to find out who leaked the FBI report on the sexual harassment allegations against Clarence Thomas. Mr. Bush said that leak turned a confidential investigation into a circus and a travesty. If you watched any news at all last night, you probably saw these pictures, a home video showing the meeting between released hostage Jesse Turner and his new daughter. Turner's stepfather took the pictures with a camera provided by CBS, who then got exclusive use of the videotape. Well, today the State Department banned Eugene Ronenberg from revisiting his stepson.
The guy pulled me aside and really started reading me the riot act about I violated this and I violated that, but they had never set any rules down to me at all. And they saw me with my camera, and they said they assumed that I was going to take it for personal use, which I want them for personal use, but I asked Jesse if it would be okay if I would release it, and he said yes.
The State Department, meantime, says it sets a high priority on protecting the privacy of freed hostages. Tonight, the man who created strange new worlds, imagined new life and new civilizations, has died of a heart attack. 70-year-old Gene Roddenberry was a former airline pilot and ex-Los Angeles police officer who came up with a TV show called Star Trek back in 1966. The show went from a ratings flop in prime time to a cult classic in syndication. The original Star Trek and the Next Generation series, which is now in production, were marked by an optimism that people can build a better future. And colleagues say that was Roddenberry's vision. And on this night, when we're all thinking about the battle to win a baseball championship, let's not overlook the other champions in our midst. Champions like Wayne Stoller, who won the crown as world's fastest, most accurate typist. Stoller typed up to 140 words in a minute, and he made only 6 mistakes. That little accomplishment earns Wayne Stoller $10,000, as well as a place in history. And now, we're going to go back to Atlanta, where the Twins are trying to make their own place in history, and the going got a little tougher tonight, didn't it, you guys?
Oh, it did. It got very tough all of a sudden, and it's not going to get any easier, even though we are coming back to the Dome. It's starting to quiet down in here, but inside this Fulton County Stadium, there are still groups and groups of fans waiting for that team to come out, and you can't expect them to do that because that team has to fly out very early today to get to the Dome to start practicing. But a lot of diehard Braves fans still waiting around inside.
And I want to add there are a lot of Braves fans here tonight, and I'm not talking about
you mean
Atlanta.
Courageous fans.
Brave and courageous fans, Minnesota fans, who have been, even though they are outnumbered by 1,000,000 to 1, who have been showing their support for the Minnesota Twins, and it's sure great to see a friendly face and a homer hanky behind your shoulder.
Right. Because they help offset the more obnoxious of the fans here. I turned around, there was one particularly obnoxious Braves fan. I looked at him, and then the police officer, Officer Banks of the Atlanta Police Department, looked at him, then looked at me and said, "This man must be from Alabama." He said he may be a Braves fan, but he's not from Georgia.
Here in Atlanta. Okay.
Exactly right. Well, it's time now to check on the forecast. We will in a moment. The forecast that Mike Fairborn will have for Game 6. We know it's going to be 72 inside. We'll find out what it's going to be like outside in just a moment.
Presenting the Hoover Elite 2 upright with attached hose and tools. It's the crevice finding, blind minding, shelf dusting, dirt busting, rug beating, carpet cleaning, far-reaching, dirt-seeking, tool-bearing, hose-wearing, power packing, nothing lacking, ultimate cleaning machine. Hoover invented it. See all the Hoover uprights with attached tools starting at the earth-shaking, groundbreaking price of $99. Value. Hoover invented that tool.
When are you going to wake up and realize there really is a difference between window insulator kits? Our superior tape technology means our kit goes up easily, and nothing stays up more dependably and removes more cleanly. When it's time to cut drafts, don't settle for anything less than the original 3M window insulator kit, because it really is the tape.
Here in Wayzata, we encourage you to come and take a look. Suburbans, just about every model in stock. CK 1500 pickups, Village, value price. Mitsubishi Diamante, Mitsubishi Expo, and Expo LRV. Always a better buy from Wayzata Mitsubishi. The Lexus LS 400, ES 300, and SC 400. Move into the luxury of Lexus. Chevrolet, Theo, Mitsubishi, Lexus, one location. The Wayzata Auto Center, only 1 mile west of 494 on all new 12394.
We like stars at night, sunny days, home run hitters and touchdown plays. We like the great outdoors and a Midwest style. The Twin Cities and a hometown smile. The time is now. The word is gone. The look of Minnesota is CCO. The look of CCO. The look of Minnesota is CCO. The look of CCO.
Welcome back to Fulton County Stadium here in Atlanta, Georgia, where the Atlanta fans are going to be partying into the night.
can I make just a personal statement?
You sure can.
All right. This is not actually an editorial statement, but I do hope that the Twins win the next 2 games at the Dome, and then I would like to make a special trip back here to this very spot to to say names to all of these people who have showed up to say names to us
You kind of dream of a chance like that to get back.
That's so juvenile of us, isn't it?
Oh, well. Anyway, now we're going to go back to Mike Fairborn in the Twin Cities. What have you got for us tomorrow when we get home?
Well, I'll tell you, it's going to be cooler, but I want to tell you something. I've been out at some of those live broadcasts from the State Fair when the crowd's gotten a little ugly before, and you guys are doing a tremendous job down there. I don't envy you at all, anyway. Starting out here tomorrow, we're going to have some clouds left over. We're cloudy out there right now, maybe even some showers, but our temperature is going to be cool, 36 degrees starting out early in the morning. Our story of the day today, well, there was no joy in Minneapolis or much sunshine today, I'll tell you. The low clouds hung in there most of the day. It was a kind of a raw day, not much wind, but the temperature only in the low 40s and a little bit of drizzle from time to time. Outside right now, this is a live shot. Of course, we're not clear here, but that's the moon over Atlanta, almost full. It was full last night. You can see just a little bit of a nick left out of it. Our weather guide today, 48. That was at 1 a.m. last night. 40 is our current reading, and that's the low for the day. And with the thunderstorms that moved through last night, 99/100ths of an inch of precipitation at the National Weather Service, a lot of lightning lighting up the sky late last night in some of those late innings of the ball game. Cloudy skies, temperature right now at 40, as we said. Winds out of the north at 12 miles an hour, and the barometer 29.93, and the barometer is rising. Our Doppler radar still showing some showers scattered to the south of us. We thought those would be off the screen by now, but these redeveloped just an hour and a half or so ago. They're all moving in a northeast direction, so we're still going to see at least some scattered showers throughout the nighttime hours here before the showers finally taper off. And right now, it's all in the form of liquid precipitation. Our satellite picture shows clouds billowing up over most of Wisconsin throughout the day. Some heavy rains around Milwaukee, some flash flood advisories for a while, as much as 2 inches of rainfall falling in some places. And you can see still a pretty good shield of clouds back over us at this time. Our temperatures, well, here's why we're saying that it's liquid out there. Down to the south and east of us, temperatures still in the 60s over Wisconsin. Temperatures in the 40s here, but look at this. Devil's Lake, North Dakota, 11 degrees right now. They got a snow cover up there. Skies have cleared off, so they're just radiating away whatever heat they had up there. 11 degrees. Kind of some nasty weather down to the south, some severe thunderstorm watches still in effect, and we were hoping for a rain delay or a rain cancellation or something to help the Twins out down there. Did not happen. No rain at all around the Atlanta area through the evening hours. We've had low pressure move through us. It's still very slowly moving off to the northeast, and there's still enough wraparound around there to keep us mostly cloudy with some showers tonight, maybe some peaks of sunshine tomorrow, but it's going to stay cool right on into the weekend, the way things are looking right now. Tomorrow, high temperatures only in the 40s here across most of southern Minnesota, not making it out of the 30s up in the northeast or northwest where they've had the snow. Well, here's the forecast for tonight. Cloudy and cool, scattered showers, 34 degrees for a low with northwest winds at 5 to 15 miles an hour. Tomorrow, partly sunny. Still going to stay cool with a high of around 46 degrees with southeast winds at 5 to 10. Tomorrow night, we'll cloud back up again. 37 for an overnight low, and right now, Saturday's looking like it's going to be mostly cloudy. Maybe some peaks of sunshine, but a high temperature of only 52 degrees. The extended outlook, Sunday's looking okay. If we go on into Game 7, let's hope we do, and then some showers returning for Monday, and with the temperatures dropping down into the 50s for the weekend, Dawn and Colleen, we're hoping that we can put some chill in Hotlanta when they come up here.
Okay. Well, Mike, just to give you an idea kind of how ornery this crowd is, we've been, they've cleared out now, but a bunch of them are still in the stadium trying to catch a glimpse of their team before they leave town. But we've been, just to kind of tease them a little, telling them we're from L.A. or San Francisco. They haven't had a nice thing to say about any town we've mentioned tonight.
We said we were from Topeka, Kansas, and then they had a dirty word to say, I think, about Topeka. They're just against everybody down here in Atlanta, Georgia. We're going to come back with some more, but we've got extra sports coverage coming up in our special sports report in just a moment with R.J. Fritz.
There's a myth that a GMC truck is more expensive than Ford or Chev. Right now, a GMC truck may cost less. Can't save much on remaining 91 GMC trucks? Fact is, you can save thousands, including factory cash back.
It's a myth that all the really good trucks have already been sold. We got extra 91s. There are hundreds in stock right now. Now's a great time to get a great deal? That's a fact. Now is a great time at your Viking Land GMC truck dealer.
Only Levitt's could put together a sale this big. Over $200 million in brand new quality furniture coast to coast. And it's all on sale.
Everything's on sale.
Levitt's will be closed tomorrow from 10 to 4 to get ready for this sale.
You'll love it.
Levitt's biggest sale starts tomorrow at 4 p.m. for 4 days only.
My customers keep telling me, Tony, you gotta try Hardy's new subs. They're even better than yours. We'll see. Give me your best sub.
Okay, start with a nice sub roll. Add Swiss, roast beef, turkey, and ham, fresh tomatoes, onions, and lettuce.
Right now, try one of Hardy's new subs and a Coke and get free fries. Get that at a sub shop.
Hey, Tony, great sub, huh? Oh, sorry, Tony.
Deli subs, now at Hardy's.
Coming up on the 10 o'clock news, Ralph John Fritz and the sports. Brought to you by Cellular One, connecting phones to people instead of places. Imagine no limits.
Imagine you're out camping, and then your food runs out on you, and then your water runs out on you, and then your wife runs out on you, and then the lightning starts, and then the rain starts, and then your car won't start, so then you pull out your cellular phone, and then you call Mom, and she comes and takes you home. And then she gives you soup. Hello, Ma.
Back to inside Atlanta Fulton County Stadium, where the final remaining fans here said their final goodbyes to the Atlanta Braves, their final home game, and what a way to exit. 14-4 over the Minnesota Twins, and now Atlanta needing one win in 2 games at the Metrodome, where it has been very difficult for anyone to win all season. The Atlanta Braves have been doing it all year, and tonight, after very 2 heart-wrenching victories over the Minnesota Twins, they put this one away in the 4th inning. Kevin Tapani had thrown 3 scoreless innings and looked very sharp for the Twins, pitching on 3 days rest, but I don't know if it was the 3 days rest that got to him, or the Atlanta Braves. But on the 4th inning, Dave Justice hit a home run. Now, the Braves had gone homerless the first 2 games at the Metrodome, but boy, did they ever make up for it in this 3-game series. A home run just over Dan Gladden's outstretched glove, and that made it 2-0 for the Braves in the 4th inning. Lonnie Smith has been the story for the offense, though, for Atlanta, hitting a home run off David West here. He became the first player since Reggie Jackson in 1977 to hit home runs in 3 straight games. This made it 6-3 for the Braves, and they put it in cruise control after that. The Twins made some noise when the pitcher for Atlanta lost his control, Glavine, and walked in a couple of runs, but Greg Gagne had the best opportunity to knock in a couple, but he failed to do so, and Atlanta went on from there. But what happened to Kevin Tapani? He was the guy the Twins really counted on tonight. We asked Kevin after the game if he could describe what went wrong.
Nothing really went wrong. You know, Justice hit a ball. You know, I didn't think he hit it well enough to get it out, but, you know, hit the top of the wall and went over, and that counts. And I don't know. That's about it. Lemke got a ball in that he can handle. You know, bad pitch, and he did something with it, and they capitalized when they needed to, and that was about it. There was no stuff involved. They're hitting the bullpen.
Yeah, I give all the credit to the Atlanta Braves. They have their hitting shoes on tonight. Now, the Twins have gone strictly with a 3-man rotation throughout the postseason, which means it is Scott Erickson's turn on Saturday. Now, that would be good news under most circumstances, but Scott Erickson has not been pitching well during the postseason. There was some speculation whether or not he would even get the start on Saturday, but now there's no doubt in his mind and no doubt in Tom Kelly's mind that Scott Erickson will be the man on Saturday night to at least try to pitch the Twins into a 7th and deciding game. And Scott was asked what kind of advantage it'll be finally going home.
A lot of times this year we've had a day off at a perfect time, and this is going to really be a benefit to us, I think. Take a little steam out of their engines, you know. they're going good, and now they got to take a day off and relax and wait, and they're going to be anxious to get out there. And for us, it's going to be perfect just to relax and forget about today.
And one thing the Atlanta Braves are not happy about, tomorrow night, the Dome will be occupied by the Minnesota Gophers playing the Michigan Wolverines. So by the time Atlanta flies in tomorrow, the football arrangement will be in there. They will not have the opportunity to work out and get readjusted to the Metrodome, which really won't help matters as well. Now, the Twins were 51-30 at the Metrodome this year. One other reason why Chuck Knobloch feels pretty good about going home.
Better feeling than losing 2-1. I mean, you can't look back on this game and say, well, if we would have done this, we would have won, because you can't do that when you lose by 10 runs. So psychologically, it's a lot better. We're a lot better off taking a loss like this, and we have a day to forget about all this, and we'll come out strong when we get back home. I mean, we definitely play well at home, and we had to play 3 National League type games. Now they got to come play 2 American League games and beat us once.
And those American League type games means Chili Davis will be in the lineup as a designated hitter, 1 through 9 again for the Twins. Don't have to worry about the pitcher batting. And think back to '87, it was Les Straker who got the call in Game 6, and then against all odds managed to pitch the Twins into Game 7, and Frank Viola did the rest. So maybe similar circumstances this time with Scott Erickson being given the ball, RJ, on Saturday, with the hope of getting it in the hands of Jack Morris on Sunday night. And I wouldn't bet against the Twins to get to Game 7. The question is, can the Twins beat Steve Avery on Saturday night? The soap opera will continue. Back to you, RJ.
Well, when this all started, Mark, we said what could make it more memorable than 1987, and that, of course, now would be to get to Game 7, bottom of the 13th. Twins trail by 3, and Herbig hits a grand slam.
Well, Herbig needs something. Maybe he needs to go pheasant hunting or something. Maybe he can hit a pheasant. He's not hitting anything else these days.
All right, thank you much. We'll see you when you get back.
All right.
Well, the North Stars couldn't pick up the spirits of the Minnesota sports fans. In case you didn't realize it, they played Philadelphia at the Met Center tonight. Brian Propp burned his former team for a pair of goals. His first, a rebound, was his 400th career goal. But the 2 he did score were the only 2 of the night for the Stars. Sometimes it's not all about putting it past the goalie, not when you can use the back of John Casey. That's what Rick Tocchet did for a goal. Philly scored the last 4 goals to win that one tonight, 5-2. Well, winning the World Series once is a thrill of a lifetime, and so is a state high school championship. So how about 14 straight state championships? Well, that's what Edina's girls tennis team has done. The 14th completed today. Kelly McCarney near court, and Sister Megan led the way. Replacing the Moe sisters, Kelly beat Jennifer Johnson, and Edina beat Duluth East 7-0. The Class A tennis champion, also a repeat. The Blake Bears growled past St. Cloud Cathedral 4-1. Laura Keith in the far court scores a point and a win. Blake takes home first place hardware there. And tomorrow, the individual singles and doubles play begins. The finals are on Saturday. And another Atlanta team beat a Minnesota team today, folks, in, of all places, Winnipeg. The Atlanta Hawks, 107, Timberwolves, 101. I guess it's sort of infectious as we now toss it back to the loneliest anchors in the world, Don and Colleen.
All right, thank you, R.J. We appreciate it, all of the sports, and we'll be back on to see how the Timberwolves will do as the regular season takes off. But we have to dispose of this little matter here at the World Series first, and we'll be back for 2 games to do that. We're going to have more of the fan reaction as it has slowed down considerably, as you can see here in Atlanta, from fans both at home and here.
That's right. The operators in our fan phone center are taking your calls, and we're going to hear what all you folks are saying coming up next.
Give me information.
This winter, be prepared. In America's best-selling small car, the front-wheel drive Ford Escort, featuring the all-new 92 Escort sedan, available with automatic overdrive and 35 miles per gallon. Or choose Escort hatchback, wagon, or the sporty GT, all with road-gripping front-wheel drive and over $1,400 in savings. The all-new Ford Escort is prepared for winter. Are you? See your local Northland Ford dealer now during front-wheel drive month.
Beat winter's chill this year with help from Menards. Weatherize your home with energy-saving products from W.J. Dennis. Right now, get 20% off our everyday low prices on all W.J. Dennis weather strips. And save on the Forever Doors by Emco. They're guaranteed not to crack, split, dent, or rot for as long as you own your home. Now starting at just $177. Get ready for winter and save at Menards.
Save big money at Menards.
Congratulations, Bill, to you and your LDV team on your 10th anniversary. Now, as a member of the LDV Technologies Group, which I am, I know you can buy AT&T, MCI, or U.S. Sprint through LDV and save up to 20%. And LDV has features that reduce the number of minutes you get charged for, like LDV's automatic wrong number credit. LDV automatically credits me when I dial a wrong number?
Right.
Bill, did you invent that?
Yes, we did.
That is incredible.
Thank you.
LDV is the best. Let Bill and his team prove it.
Welcome back to Georgia, everybody. We're kind of anxious to get going home. In fact, funny thing happened just a few minutes ago. Andy McPhail was leaving this area, and you yelled to him, let's go home.
Let's go home.
What did he say to you?
He said, I left you in charge. Didn't you get the memo? Now we're being
So
blamed
it's
for
your
tonight's
fault.
loss. That's exactly right. Now we want to hear from some fans tonight.
But first, the Atlanta fans leaving the stadium as May Murphy talked to them.
I feel great about it. I feel great. Now I think once they get in Minnesota, they're going to take it in the first game.
How about you, sir? Do you...
Greatest thing that happened to Atlanta. Go Braves! Go Braves!
Do you think they can win in the Metrodome?
I think they can. I think everybody's going to shut them out.
So you... Okay, that was the view from the Atlanta fans. They're awfully cheered about this Game 6.
Now for the view from the other side, we want to go to Pat Kessler, who's standing by back in the Twin Cities. Pat.
People are feeling a little bit better about themselves here in Minnesota, Don and Colleen. I've got to tell you, maybe they took a walk around the block, took a deep breath, counted to 10. We were hearing a lot of frustrated fans earlier. We asked you to call in, however, and tell us what you think tomorrow's headlines should be, and so a lot of you were very optimistic. Here's what some of you had to say.
Cavalry break the Tomahawks. Winning Twins come back to Minnesota, to the Wind Cities, to win it in the Dome in Minneapolis, to give the hot Atlanta the cold shoulder.
The Braves chop as the Twins flop, or simply chop, chop, fizz, fizz. Return to Dome magic.
No place like Dome.
Well, there is no place like Dome. That's where they're heading. So, Don and Colleen, come on back. We'll try it here, see what happens.
All right, Pat, thank you very much. What we want to do now is face something that there was more to cheer about tonight than we actually expected. We decided to catch up on some kids and to see what they thought about tonight's game. The key word here is kids. We took our hidden camera to Club Kid, which is a daycare center in Minnetonka, and we captured some of the youngest fans cheering on our Twins. And we sort of had to bribe them with plenty of popcorn, and the Dixie bleachers filled up, and they enjoyed some action before it got very ugly. Fortunately, most of the kids had to be in bed by the 6th inning, so they didn't have to see everything that we saw. We'll tell them what they missed out on, maybe sometime when they're old enough to actually be able to handle that kind of depression.
I kind of wish I'd been sleeping through some of that
It'd been nice.
inside tonight. Well, that's going to end our coverage from Atlanta. We're coming home, everybody, and thank goodness for that.
A lot of us are going to have Georgia on our minds one way or another for a long time, but we're here waiting for Game 6 and Game 7 of the World Series when we're back in the Twin Cities. We'll see you there.
Good night.
Good night.
I said, Georgia, Georgia. A song of you comes as sweet and clear with moonlight through the pines. For the land of the free and the home of
This morning I said to my wife, you always take the Eagle Summit wagon to work. When do I get a turn?
She should have let you have it right then and there.
Oh, sure. Take her side.
Looks like that all-new Eagle Summit wagon really holds a lot of stuff.
Yeah, and if I need more room, I can take the back seat out.
Is it hard?
No, actually, it's pretty comfortable.
Managing the cost of tomorrow's health care. It means reaching out to kids today. 1 out of 3 already has high cholesterol. 9 of 10 may have a risk factor for heart disease. That's why Blue Cross introduced Blueprints for Health, a program that uses theater to help kids develop good health habits early.
And I'll never, ever smoke.
At Blue Cross and Blue Shield, we're getting to kids first to lower health costs for all of us in the future.
Water bedroom. Tough to beat. No payments. No interest. For 6 months. Buy it now, pay for it later. 6 months later. Can't beat that at Water Bedroom. From waterbeds to bedroom furniture, Water Bedroom has it all. And you can have it all with no payments, no interest for 6 months. Water Bedroom. Limited time offer.
Something new is coming to your neighborhood. It'll help you learn more about your community than ever before. It all begins Tuesday, October 29th.
Child Care in the 90s, Sunday at 10 on Channel 4.
On the bird in 10 minutes.
Exclusive, they're going to take us inside.
This woman is accused of selling drugs in London. Why is that big news? She lives here at Buckingham Palace with the Queen. 2, 1.
I was okay to be a father at that point until I filed for divorce.
Charles Heffley is an admitted child killer. But when he and his wife got a divorce, a judge awarded him custody of their children.
He's insane. And now I can say it.
One woman's fight to get her kids from her notorious ex-husband.
Swift is in. Chicago, we're coming to you first.
Audio check, 1, 2.
There's L.A.
When 4 women disappeared from this small Kansas town, many believed it was the work of UFOs.
All 4 of these ladies had a belief that concerned extraterrestrial beings.
Now they're back, and their strange odyssey has the whole town talking.
Hello, I'm Bill O'Reilly. Thank you for watching Inside Edition today. There is some shocking news out of Britain. A woman who lives at Buckingham Palace has been accused of selling cocaine. And investigators say she even used the royal phone. We'll have undercover video of the British connection coming up. But first, a story you won't believe. A man who killed 2 little kids and raped their mother spent 10 years in a mental institution. Now he's out. But here's the real frightening part. This same man has been given custody by the courts of his own 2 small children. But as Rick Kirkham found out, the issues in this case are not black and white.
All mothers want is a happy life anyway for their children, and an abusive-free life for themselves, too. And somewhere, it's got to stop.
Janet Heffley is a woman in distress. After 10 years of what she claims was an abusive marriage, she got out. But now she insists her nightmare has only begun.
I need to get my kids. That's my main objective, is to get my children.
Janet married Charles Roy Heffley in 1980. It was not a fairy tale wedding, however, because of her new husband's notorious past. A past that still haunts the Twin Cities of Dallas-Fort Worth. At the age of 16, Charles Heffley made front-page news for weeks by perpetrating the worst crime of 1964. Authorities say on September 11th, 1964, for reasons that are still unknown to this day, Charles Heffley abducted a woman and her 2 children from Fort Worth, brought them here to the Trinity River, and from all official accounts, the events that took place after that were nothing short of horrendous.
He kidnapped us. He raped me. He tried to murder me, stabbed me 17 times, beat me with a tire tool. He did, in fact, murder my 2 children.
Carolyn Adams was a 20-year-old mother of 2 infant boys when Heffley dragged her to this river, repeatedly stabbed her, causing her to lose an eye, drowned one child, and then returned to kill the second child.
And he went and picked him up and threw him in the water to finish the job.
Newspaper accounts at the time told how Heffley's parents were trying to have their son certified as insane. And indeed, the teenage murderer avoided a possible death penalty by admitting his crime and serving 10 years in a mental institution. A few years later, he married Janet. She now claims her marriage to Charles was an emotional roller coaster. One day he would be loving, she says. The next he might turn into a monster, like the time he chased her from this trailer home with a rifle bearing down on her.
And so I positioned myself in the road behind a bush, and I thought, he's not going to come out with a gun. But he did. And when I saw it in his hands, he saw me from behind the bush, and I took off running. And he fired 4 shots.
Janet claims she tried to leave her husband several times, admitting herself twice to a mental hospital looking for help in dealing with the mental anguish. In March of 1990, Janet went to the small town of Terrell, Texas, a farming community, and sought counseling and medication for 3 weeks. While in this hospital, husband Charles filed for divorce and began a fierce custody battle for the couple's 2 children, Shane and Rachel. On June 13th of this year, the Heffley's bitter child custody battle came to an end inside this Henderson County, Texas courtroom. Judge Matt Livingston was forced to rule on what he later turned to be a most difficult decision. Did the Heffley children belong with their mother, a woman who had only recently been treated for mental illness? Or did the kids belong with their father, a self-admitted rapist and child murderer? Shockingly, Judge Livingston chose the latter, and the children were off and gone with Charles Heffley.
He felt that I was a danger to the children, and my initial reaction to that was, good Lord.
Janet Heffley was shocked, not knowing where to turn, when she came across a newspaper article about the banning of a Garth Brooks music video about wife abuse. Janet Heffley then called Jolene Mercer, a music industry publicist who was quoted in the article as attacking the ban on the Garth Brooks video.
You know, this woman calls me in the middle of the night and says, I have this story to tell you. I need help. And
Jolene Mercer got Janet an attorney to help start a legal appeal. But meanwhile, Charles Heffley disappeared out of Texas. The focus instantly turned on the judge who had given custody of the 2 kids to a known child murderer, a judge we visited this week. The Honorable Matt Livingston refused comment on his decision, as well as allegations that he made that decision based not on the facts, but on his close personal relationship with Charles Heffley's attorney. Inside Edition found Charles Heffley living in Las Vegas, Nevada. He and his attorney refused to talk with us, so we decided we would have to confront Heffley.
And let's go.
Right through the thing. Knowing we were in town, Heffley prepared to leave with his kids when we approached him. And even though his attorney had warned him not to talk, Charles Heffley said he would answer any and all questions.
I am very innocent, man. To comment on 1964 is 1964. But my wife, ex-wife, Janet, knew about that within the first week of us knowing one another. She knew about it before we ever got married. She knew about it after we got married. She knew about it before the birth of either child. And she knew about it the birth after each child. And I was okay to be a father at that point until I filed for divorce.
Can you naturally, though, understand the concern of the public at large for these 2 children knowing what happened in 1964?
Certainly. Certainly. Had I still been that same person, I am not 16 years old. I went through a lot of years of intense counseling and therapy, a lot of support from family and friends, professional people. I'm just not that same person anymore.
God, he's insane. It's so easy for me to see, and now I can say it, but he is. And if they used that as a defense years ago, what in the world changes a man to be sane again after he's insane?
You know, he just was such a brutal individual when my last encounter with him, thank you, God, until I just don't understand how anybody, knowing his kind of background and the personality that he had, would ever entrust children to him.
Do you really feel these children are safe in your custody?
Absolutely. Absolutely. You be the judge. Ask them.
you like living in Las Vegas? Do you? Yeah?
Mm-hmm.
Do you miss your mom at all?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah? But you like staying with Dad?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah? You see the kids, you see him. What do you think about it? Are they in danger?
No. No. I couldn't say that, no. Not the way they're cared for.
The Heffley child custody battle is still ongoing through the appeal process, but both parents adamantly contend the other is dangerous. Mrs. Heffley because of her admitted psychological breakdowns, and Mr. Heffley because of his murderous past. However, most of the people closely watching this story progress say it is the judge who should now be investigated. Or if both parents appeared unfit, why didn't he call in a third party, such as the Texas Child Welfare Services?
Why don't we get in the truck and get in our seatbelts and go?
Meanwhile, the children remain in the legal custody of their father as the battle rages on around them. Both sides claiming they want the same thing, whatever is best for the kids.
An Inside Edition will continue to follow this story, and we will let you know what ultimately happens. Much more ahead today as we continue from coast to coast. Can you believe someone may have used the Queen of England's phone line to sell drugs? Well, someone allegedly did.
There are 300 staff who live or work at Buckingham Palace, and you just simply cannot body search them every time they go in or out of the wrought iron gates of Buckingham Palace.
I've spent a lot of time up in the wild blue yonder. That's a place where up to 42% of the heat from your gas furnace can go if it's 10 years old. Change to a new Bryant Plus 90 gas furnace. It's 96% fuel efficient.
For gas furnaces that are built with the right stuff to last, check your yellow pages for the Bryant dealer near you.
So get a Bryant Plus 90 and bring your fuel bill back down to earth. Bryant, the right stuff to last.
If you're looking for a way to beat those old car blues, your Isuzu dealer's got the right Isuzu for you.
It's the right time for year-end savings on selected 91 Isuzu cars and trucks, like the roomy Isuzu Stylus XS, priced at up to $1,800 off during the Isuzu for You sale.
Info Stylus Pickup Trooper, Rodeos too. Your Isuzu dealer's got the right Isuzu for you.
Save on a Stylus at your local Twin Cities Isuzu dealer.
If you like 'em fresh, you'll love a Fisher.
You can see how fresh Fisher nuts look, smell how fresh, taste how fresh.
If you like 'em fresh, you'll love a Fisher.
Fisher nuts are Fisher fresh because they're vacuum packed in steel cans to lock its freshness. Fisher cashews are fresh and creamy. Fisher pecans fresh and crunchy. Fisher mixed nuts.
If you like 'em fresh, you'll love a Fisher.
For 17 years, Denise and Deborah were the best of friends. But then something came between them. Deborah had a baby. Now Denise feels left out in the cold. When Sandy gave birth to her baby girl, she didn't even tell her lifelong friend Michelle. Pat says Linda's kids are driving a wedge between them. Who's at fault when someone says my best friend's baby is ruining our friendship?
I think she's jealous.
On the next Sally.
Friday morning at 9 on Channel 4.
Britain is in an uproar this week over allegations that there is a dope pusher operating on the grounds of the Royal Palace. Nancy Glass is here with this incredible story. Nancy.
Bill would like to think of Buckingham Palace as a place of history and dignity. Seems unbelievable that someone could be selling drugs from this noble place. Well, you're about to witness an alleged drug deal arranged right under the noses of the royal family. Buckingham Palace, home to the British royal family, home to their loyal servants, and apparently home to a drug dealer. The London newspaper, the Daily Mirror, broke the story after they were tipped off by a whistleblower. They set up a cocaine deal by calling the switchboard of Buckingham Palace. The caller used code words, including the word Charlie, slang for a cocaine deal, and were put through to the dealer. The Daily Mirror says the bait was taken by an unmarried mother, 24-year-old Lucy Marshall, who lives with her parents in the grounds of the palace. Her father is in charge of royal cars. Within an hour, it's alleged that Lucy Marshall was pushing her baby and the drugs out the palace gates and past the royal guards. The Daily Mirror says the deal then took place with the whistleblower and one of their reporters posing as a drug courier in this central London apartment. Lucy Marshall brought her 6-week-old son Matthew along.
I feel terrible, you know. I feel really, really guilty bringing him with me.
For $650, it's alleged that Lucy supplied a quarter of an ounce of cocaine. The reporter then took it to a laboratory for analysis. It later turned out to be high quality. Lucy Marshall stayed and talked for a while, admitting to a sense of guilt for dragging her newborn child along.
I felt terrible walking around this going back, so I just thought, you know, if anything does happen...
And if Lucy ever got caught, she wanted her child to be there anyway.
If I get mixed with him, they take him in with me. Yeah. I've got more chance of keeping him.
It's a shocking story, and so far the Queen has had no comment.